Hey everyone, it's Elette with Boyd's Gifts and Engraving. Today I'm doing a primitive sheep and I'm putting it on a cutting board from Walmart. And I actually decoupaged on it, but I didn't show you how to do it. But I did use the Americana Black and Buttermilk Deco Art. And I used Apple Barrel Sunkissed, let me see what the name is. Peach. And I'm gonna paint the sheep in the buttermilk color, and the ears will be black, and the face will be black, and the feet will be black. The nose will be that sun-kissed peach, and then I got a heart that I'm using red. And the red is also an Apple Barrel. It's called Apple Barrel Flamenco Red is what I did the heart with. And then I stressed it with some Behr dark wax from Home Depot. And that's what I used on that to make it antique-like, to bring it to life, you know, to make it look more primitive. But you dab with a makeup sponge, and you use that to create a better coverage on your pieces of wood. It does better than you don't have the paint strokes from the paintbrush. So anyway, after I dab this with the buttermilk, I start dabbing the black with the ears and the feet and the face. I just love primitive stuff. Okay, so I cut the tip end off because I always reuse my sponges. I use them until I can't use any more of it. And now I'm putting the black out, and I use just a little dab of black. And then I'm going to do my ears. Let me dry it first because it's a little wet. So I'm dabbing the ears, and they're looking really, really cute. It's looking more and more like a sheep the more I paint on it, you know. So now I'm doing the face, and I'm thinking there for a minute, what color should I put it? But it was black. I'm thinking again, overthinking myself. So I start dabbing, and I dabbed around the eyes, and good luck, it did not get in the eyes, so the eyes are more predominant looking. So I go on around the rest of it with the black. And later I'll be distressing this with sandpaper, along with the ears and the feet and all that. So now we're doing the feet. And again, like I said, we will distress this with around the edges with sandpaper. You can get these as a kit. You don't have to get them already just 100% pre-made by me. I can show you the decoupaging with the paper in another video, but I already had it made. So I'm trying to get the sun-kissed peach out so I can do the nose, and all I need is a little dollop of that. A little dollop goes a long way, especially on something small. You have to excuse me for so much silence in this video. I tried speeding it up and it's not speeding up with me. So there goes the flamenco red, and I'm fixing to do that on the heart. And it will take a couple of layers, you know, a couple of coats on it, because it's not, hold on, I think I got a customer. Okay, so I'm finishing up the heart. And I will also distress it too. So now moving all that away, and I'm going to do away with this paper, get rid of that paint so I don't get it on nothing else. And then I'll put this stuff back down, and I'm going to start distressing everything, starting with the cutting board. So that decoupage is nothing but paper from Hobby Lobby, or that book I think came from, I think it did come from Hobby Lobby. So I'm using the Behr wax from Home Depot, and I'm using this paintbrush that's for stenciling and stuff, and I'm just roughening up the edges with it, antiquing it, and making it look a little bit more distressed, because nothing looks better than grunge. I like to grunge things up, make it look not so bright, you know, just grunge it up. See, it's looking really good, grunging it up. And I'll wipe it down a little bit, but for the most part, that needed to be out a little bit. So I'm drying it up some so I didn't use the matte decoupage. I used the satin because I didn't have any more matte. And so it makes it harder to adhere, for the wax to adhere. It should be a flatter surface. So we're drying it up, and then I'll take a paper towel and I'll kind of wipe it off some. And you'll see it looks just as good. See, it didn't go away as much. Okay. Now we're going to start on the sheep, and I'm going to go around the outer edges of his ears with the sandpaper to roughen it up to give it that distressed look. And then I use a paintbrush, unused paintbrush, to brush off the dust. But around the body is going to be part of the wax. I'm not going to use the sandpaper. Sandpaper is only going to be around the black feet, the black face, the black ears. So now I'm doing the feet. That was the sandpaper. I think it was 140 grit. Who likes primitive? Do you like primitive? Do you like farmhouse? Do you like coastal? Do you like modern? What do you like? But like I've told you before, these things can be purchased as a kit. If you get them as a kit, they're come to you unpainted, unput together. You put them all together. You know, I'll give you what you need to create, which is the cutouts, and if there's any ribbon, you can have the ribbon. But I will not provide the paints or the glue. You'll have to provide that for yourself. And I'm sure that in your craft room you already have this stuff. So just keep that in mind for future reference, that anything that I have is can be done as a kit only, or it could be done as a finished product. So either way, you can catch me on Facebook. I'm on Facebook under Boyd's Gibson Engravings. And I do have some videos there, but Facebook is getting to where they make, they're only holding your videos for like 30 days, and then after that, you know, they're deleting them. So instead of going there, I'm coming right straight to YouTube. So hopefully with YouTube, I'll get the followers I need and build it up and keep building it up and all that stuff. So now I'm going to start on the sheep with the wax. And as you can tell, it looks really good once you get going around that white and you roughen it up and you darken it up and it's not so bright and it looks grungy. I like the grungy look because to me, sheep are not clean. They're dirty. Most of them are dirty. Even though they've had grooming or whatnot, they still get out there and they still get dirt because they're outside animals. So I like grunge. I like colors, but I don't like for them to stand out and be bright. I like to grunge them up with something, whether it be white paint, whether it be a dark wax, whether it be black paint, whether it be just the sandpaper going around and roughing it up. I like to distress a lot. So now I'm fixing to use stick fast. It's real thick. Don't get the thin if you ever get it. The thin runs out too quick, but it goes a long way, guys. It only takes a little bit and it goes a long way. And so I just put it down and I use the stick fast on all that, and it helps it better, you know. It holds better than hot glue. Hot glue comes apart later. It falls apart if heat gets to it or whatnot, but this stick fast works really well. I use it for my military projects as well, because I do a lot of custom work for the military. So we're gluing everything together, and once we glue it together, I'm gonna show you how I make a messy bow or little bow for it. It turned out really cute. So now we're putting the feet on, and then I'm gonna put the heart on. Gotta dust some of that wax off of it because it was too thick on my sides. She's turned out so cute. She's adorable. And this piece, this sheep, was actually supposed to be made thick so it could stand up on its own. But I chose to make it thinner, using 1/8 of an inch instead of a 1/2 inch or 1/4 inch to make it stand up. So instead of standing up on its own, I'm putting it on the cutting board. So I just made it thinner. So I used the stick fast to glue him down, and he fit perfect on it. Now, if I had Yahtzee pieces, I think it's Yahtzee. No, not Yahtzee. Not Yahtzee. I can't remember the name of it. The game where you spell it out with wooden blocks. But anyhow, you can use those little wooden blocks with letters on it on the thing that might say primitive love or anything like that you can put on it. So I've been using this fabric. I bought this muslin and this check. Both fabrics I took and stained them with instant coffee, vanilla flavoring, and some cinnamon. And I soaked them in it and then let them dry. And you see how primitive it looks? It looks grungy. I love the grungy look. The white, you know, on the red checked is not white. It's grungy. So you'll see that too. But I just rip it because I'm making a messy bow. And I'm doing maybe a 1 inch, between a 1/2 inch and a 1 inch, and I only need 2 of them, so I'll fold that one back up. And I don't quite use 2 of them, I think, because the bow ended up being small. And I do the same thing with the red check. I just take about 1 inch and then I rip it. Smells like cinnamon and coffee. So I'm getting all the little strings off of it. I usually like strings, but most of the strings are still on it, but I just took the ones that are hanging off. So and I just need to see how much I need for it before I start cutting. That one ended up being wide at one end and then narrow at the other, so. Okay, so I wanted to see how big my bow needs to be, and you'll see it's gonna be a tiny bow, but it's gonna end up being just what I need. Now you guys can go on Facebook and you can instant message me through Facebook Messenger to put in an order. I do have an Etsy store as well, and I think the Etsy store is either under Boyd's Gibson Engravings or it's under ENS Laser Engraving. But I do have an Etsy store, but not everything is on the Etsy store. But if you want anything custom, you know, like, not custom, but kits, just hit me up on Facebook Instant Messenger. Just let me know that you watched a YouTube channel and that you want to order a kit, or you want to see if I could do this kit. You know, it might be something that you might want done instead. It could be a cow, for instance, and you just want it cut. And I can do that for you, and I will ship anywhere in the U.S. only, and all you got to do is just hit me up. But anyhow, I take twine, and I put it up north and south of where I'm making the bow, so that could be my tie-off. And I'm layering each color. I'm alternating it, and I'm layering it. So, you'll see how I'm doing it. I just keep layering it back and forth with each color until I got every one of them folded up like a bow. Excuse the sirens, there's something going by, something going on out there. They need to get out of the way. Okay, they're out of the way. God, that was terrible for somebody to get into that and can't go and get where they gotta go. Okay, so I'm making the bow, and I'm doing the layers, and I'm going on with my layering, and I'm making sure every piece is about the same size, same length. Because you'll see once I get done with it how it's turning out. Then I'll just go right straight in the middle. And I'm making sure that it's not curling up on me. And flip it over and tie it off. And then I just start straightening it out a little bit. It is a small bow. I'm not used to making a bow that small. But it turned out really sweet. So I just end up, instead of gluing it on, I just tied it on. That way if somebody doesn't like the bow and they want something different there, they can put something different there. If you would rather hang it than sit it up, then you can hang it. And just take the bow off. Put the bow somewhere else with hot glue. And so primitive really isn't primitive without buttons, right? So I think I'm going to use a couple of buttons. It's cute, right? Okay, let me get my buttons. So I'm going through the buttons to see which one I want. So I ended up with the lighter ones because I think they look better. Kind of stood out more than the dark ones. See, and the dark one on the heart just did not work, so I put the light one on it. Stick Fast will not glue the button onto the fabric, but it will glue the button onto the wood. So I used hot glue for the button for the bow. And like I said, primitive to me is not primitive without buttons. You got to put buttons to everything, you know. I love it all. And there you have it. So again, all you got to do is put lettering that you want lettering or stamping or whatever on it. And you can also put a hang tag. But all it is a Walmart cutting board from the craft section. So there you go. Bye.